The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.
And we are live to tape on the W2M Network for Wrestling to the Max Smackdown Live Review, March 13th, 2018. Good evening, everybody. Afternoon, whenever you're listening. Everybody, my name is Harry Broadhurst. I am your host of this here shindig. Joining me, as per usual, my co-hostess with the mostest, Miss Liz Pugliese.
Hello.
And the Marvin the Martian to my Daffy Duck, Brandon Biskobing.
Damn it, I don't have a really witty comeback for you like I did on Sunday.
I don't think that you belong on this episode. Wait, I went Bullwinkle instead of Marvin. See, my Marvin needs work.
I hardly even remember how Marvin even sounded.
He had a very, pitchy voice.
Yeah.
It was really, really high pitched, and then he was constantly blowing Daffy's bill off with his laser thingy. So technically speaking, even though you were Elmer to my Bugs in this one, you get the better of the exchanges most of the time.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. I think I might have to rethink this comparison. Anywho, time is of the essence this evening. Therefore, I'm going to stop screwing around, and we're going to get into the SmackDown Live review. Is everybody ready?
Let's do it.
Yep.
On the heels of the Fastlane pay-per-view, if you're interested in more thoughts on that, you can check out myself, Brandon Biskobing, and Patrick Ketza on the Wrestling Unwrapped Reacts edition of Fastlane 2018. In addition, I think Paul, Sean, and Gary are going to cover Fastlane on the upcoming part 1 of the newest series of Wrestling to the Max episodes this week, but I don't know if those are up on the website yet. Just stay tuned to the website. You'll find them eventually. Liz, did you want to give any quick thoughts from the pay-per-view on Sunday?
It was all right. I enjoyed it for the most part. I'm sure we'll get to the stuff with Shane, which I'll do my quick little rant on. Overall, I enjoyed it. I don't think it was that horrible of a pay-per-view.
And right as I say that, Larry's review of SmackDown is up, so we can go from his.
Awesome.
Yay! I stalled long enough to do this. Okay. Our opening promo scheduled for 10 minutes. Whatever. Is the WWE Champion AJ Styles coming down to the ring to celebrate the fact that he is still the WWE Champion AJ Styles. A loud "You deserve it" chant breaks out. Styles responds to them, "I don't deserve it, I earned it." A line we would hear once again later on in the evening. Come on, Cedric, you're better than that. Anyway, AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura proceed to have a back and forth about their WrestleMania match on Sunday. And Nakamura, once he makes his way down to the ring, tells AJ that at WrestleMania, dreams come true. And my dream for WrestleMania, knee to face. AJ doesn't necessarily agree with him. We get a little bit of back and forth before Shinsuke finds his way out to ringside, as it is once again everybody's favorite day.
Shinsuke Day?
Liz, what day is it?
It's Rusev Day.
It's Rusev Day! And our opening contest will be AJ Styles against Rusev. Your guys' thoughts on the opening promo? Brandon, I'll start with you.
I think it was fine. I'd prefer, we'll see how it goes over the next couple of weeks heading into Mania, what they do with these two. But especially with what we saw later on post-match, I'm hoping they don't do this, but I have this weird foreboding feeling that they're going to try, at least attempt, to turn one of these two heel.
Liz?
Yeah, I kind of had the same thought as Brandon. It was all right. It's what you expected as we go into Mania. But it wasn't anything spectacular.
Our opening contest scheduled for one fall.
One fall.
is a non-title match as the WWE Champion AJ Styles takes on Rusev. The match goes 11 minutes and 20 seconds and ends on a disqualification as Styles gets the calf crusher on Rusev. In English, Aiden English ain't having none of that shenanigans, running in for the disqualification, attacking Styles. Rusev and English proceed to beat down Styles in a 2-on-1 attack until eventually, keyword on the eventually, Nakamura makes the save, tossing English from the ring, and once again giving Rusev a Kinshasa! Liz, your thoughts on our opening contest?
Pretty good. Enjoy seeing. Oh, sorry, I dropped my tablet. Enjoying seeing Rusev going up against the champion. A lot of people think that's where he should be. Didn't expect him to win, but I'm actually glad that he didn't take a pin.
Brandon, were you surprised they protected Rusev with a disqualification here after he ate the pin against Nakamura?
Honestly, I am, because, like I said before about this whole Rusev Day thing, I didn't think that they were really going to do much with it. I thought he was going to get the Ty Dillinger treatment, but, they've been using him much more than I expected and much better than I expected. I think a lot of this with him not eating the pin and the attack, the 2-on-1 attack, was more so to build what it seems like they're doing with Shinsuke, which is, I don't know if you'd really consider it a full-on heel turn, but, his hesitation and him not automatically jumping in to help AJ was very, head-scratching worthy.
I like the match. I think that there's a future for these two as opponents, but there were some kinks in this match that I think are going to have to be worked out if they're going to do any kind of an extended program against each other. It was a little bit chunky in spots, but I did enjoy the match.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that takes us on to our first backstage segment of the evening as Big E arrives and is met by Dasha Fuentes. Hey, I can finally tell her and the other chick, Kayla Braxton, apart. Good for me.
Yay!
Big E talks about the fact that Rowan and Harper, laid everyone to waste, more or less, in the course of the tag team title match on Sunday. Good call on that, Liz.
Thank you. I'm very proud of myself.
Yeah, but it's setting up a multi-team match at WrestleMania, so congratulations for setting that up, too. Anyway. It's okay, she'll hang up on me one of these days, and I'll be forced to do the show with just Brandon, and that's going to be a sad day.
Well, you do plenty of shows with Brandon. You won't miss me.
Yeah, but you're tolerable. He's a butthole. Anywho. They talk about the fact that Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, and Jey Uso are not there tonight because of what went down with the Bludgeon Brothers on Sunday. No official medical update provided for Xavier Woods. Nothing I could find online either, which hopefully no news is good news in this situation because it looked really bad on Sunday.
I would assume that does mean it's good news. That does mean that there is no real, big injury, because I would think by now that there would have been something out if he was legitimately injured.
Just for the love of God, X, tuck your head next time, please. Please? Anyway. So tonight, Jimmy Uso and Big E will team up to attempt to get some semblance of revenge on the Bludgeon Brothers. That occurs a little bit later on in the evening. Backstage segment again, part 2, coming back from a commercial as AJ Styles meets up with Shinsuke Nakamura, saying that he didn't need Shinsuke's help tonight. Shinsuke tells AJ that he did need his help and that he will have AJ's back until WrestleMania, when at WrestleMania Shinsuke is going to beat AJ with... Liz, what's Shinsuke going to beat AJ with?
I'm not even attempting it, so let's try.
Knee to face.
Okay.
I refuse. I refuse.
Any thoughts on either of these two segments backstage, Liz?
It took me a second to realize which twin that was because I can never tell them apart still. I enjoyed the Uso E1 more than I did AJ. Shinsuke. I mean, we get a lot of AJ and Shinsuke, backstage, and he's going to beat him at WrestleMania, and all that. So it was a little bit of more of the same, and AJ being Mr. I don't need help, but they were all right. They moved things along. That's what they were there for.
Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much what Liz said. The Uso and Big E promo was pretty good. I mean, those two talking about what happened on Sunday and all of that. It moved everything ahead and got people up to date that didn't see it already announced earlier on in the day. And then the AJ Shinsuke one was basically what we've been getting for what we were getting right after Royal Rumble of, Shinsuke just talking to AJ about, he's going to beat him at Mania, need to face all of that. I did like that, it was kind of taking away. I mean, I'm still not convinced. I think we are going to get some sort of, shenanigans or some sort of thing going on with one of them turning on the other a little bit more, just because this is WWE and they never do anything straight up. But I think this kind of takes, they're trying to convince people that Shinsuke is not going to, turn heel and, go attack AJ or anything like that. He just wants to protect, he's going to want to protect the match, which I hope they continue.
Big E looks really pissed off as he's going down the ringside.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Uso does not look a whole lot happier than Big E did. The Bludgeon Brothers come out with mallets. Big E and Uso get chairs. Shenanigans occur. Eventually separated, we go to commercial break. Make this real quick here because I do want to get straight into the match itself there. Liz, were you surprised to see this level of fire shown from Big E and Jimmy Uso going into the first part of this?
No, not at all. I mean, we've seen it before with them in different matches, and this time it was a lot, personal. The brothers, in many senses of the word, are out of commission. So no, I think it was great because I love seeing Big E fight up. We don't really get to see that in a non-comical way too much.
Brandon?
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I liked how they handled this whole thing. I honestly would have been fine with them just, having this brawl and, beat each other up and then not even have the match. But, we got the match regardless.
Yeah, I think you could have done the brawl this week and then saved the match for next week. And then you could have saved the match for when the partners return to kind of even the playing field.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, our second contest scheduled for one fall is Jimmy Uso and Big E taking on the Bludgeon Brothers. They go 2 minutes and 32 seconds. That's typo. Eric Rowan gets the pinfall on Jimmy Uso with the killer bomb. And the Bludgeon Brothers continue to look dominant in this feud here. Okay, so with everything that they're giving to the Bludgeon Brothers in the build-up, Brandon, is it entirely possible that either the Usos or the New Day walk out of Mania as champions? Or is it a foregone conclusion that these belts are going to Harper and Rowan?
I think it's a pretty much a foregone conclusion that these belts are going to Harper and Rowan at this point. Which I'm perfectly fine with. I like that they're getting a bigger push than they have in the past. And it seems like this gimmick works for them, so, it is what it is. It works.
Liz?
No, I agree. I think it would be detrimental to them if they didn't come away with the titles, unless, of course, there's some type of shenanigans, as you like to say, where once again we don't have an actual official outcome and it drags out even further. But I see them leaving Mania with the titles.
I don't think that will happen just because in a triple threat it's kind of hard for them to pull that sort of thing unless it's going to be, a tornado tag match or something like that.
Yeah, no, I know, but you never know with these people.
I know you never know.
Exactly.
100%. That legit checks out. All right. Renee Young backstage catches an interview with Sami. A little bit later on, there's a backstage interview with Kevin. They both talk about how they blame the other for what happened on Sunday and not necessarily Shane. Dun, dun, dun. We'll get to that in a few moments. All right, Madame Liz, as the official first lady of the Smackdown review here, I'm going to let you have this segment to start. Our women's division segment sees Charlotte come out to the ring and talk about the fact that she wants to face Asuka woman to woman on her first night on SmackDown. Asuka does come out. They have a little bit of a back and forth promo where Charlotte tells Asuka that she will bow to the Queen. Asuka says that she bows to no one because no one is ready for Asuka. Your thoughts for the first interaction in a verbal sense between Asuka and Charlotte?
I can't stand listening to either one of them speak. And that's horrible to say. I mean, Charlotte's come a long way. Asuka, I think they need to not have her screech, so much, and she'll sound better. But it was all right. It was good. Asuka just basically repeated what, Charlotte said and added in that she doesn't bow down to, anyone. It was all right. It wasn't as intense as I think it could have been.
Yeah, but I think with 3 weeks, left on the road here, Brandon, you kind of had to expect it. They're not going to give you their go home stuff here on the first of 4 episodes, right?
Yeah, I'll agree with that. And I think this match and the WWE title match both should be more of, it's not a distinctive heel face type of dynamic. It's, just 2 competitors wanting the title. And that's all you really need for both of these feuds. So I was okay with it. I was fine with the interaction, and I'm sure we'll get more in depth with it as we go forward.
Liz called the no contest in the tag team title match. I called Randy Orton winning the U.S. title. And
I pick Orton as well?
You got your moment. You be quiet over there, sideline.
No, I'm taking this one too. Sorry, I don't get many. Go ahead.
You can't have it. It's mine.
Whatever.
Mine.
Anyway. All right, fine.
Throw a temper tantrum like my name is Sam here. Anywho. Orton comes out and talks about the fact that he is finally the U.S. champion. He talks about the fact that he is now on a elite list of Grand Slam performers. I believe that we talked about this on the pay-per-view review, Brandon, and Patrick said the number was 10.
Yes.
In the WWE, 22 if you count the accomplishments inside of WCW as well, or the previous variation of the Grand Slam, which would be heavyweight, intercontinental, European or hardcore, and tag team.
Yep.
Bobby Roode comes out to confront Orton and tells him that he has a rematch and that he will be cashing it in at WrestleMania. Jinder Mahal disrupts the party, congratulates Orton for winning the title, but says that it feels like Orton's been there forever, which in fairness, it does feel like Orton's been there forever, and has just won the U.S. title, whereas Bobby Roode's been up here for a cup of coffee and he beats you to the belt. This leads to another singles match scheduled for one fall. As Jinder Mahal takes on Bobby Roode, and we see Mahal yet again pin a member of the U.S. title division. Last week he pinned the now champion. This week he pins the former champion. Mahal over Roode at 625 with the Colossus after a little bit of a distraction by the uninjured Singh brother. Remember, the other one tore his ACL.
Mm-hmm.
That would be Samir. And Sunil helps with the distraction there, leading to Mahal groining Roode on the top rope while he's up top and then hitting the Colossus for the finish here. I have to be entirely honest with you guys. I have absolutely zero interest in this triple threat match. None whatsoever. Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, Orton and Roode put on a great match at Fastlane, and I'd honestly be okay with them just facing in a one-on-one again at Mania. But yeah, adding in Mahal, first off, the whole thing doesn't make any bit of sense. Why? I know he wants the U.S. title and everything, but like, the whole backstory with the top 10 list and all of that, it was just ridiculous. But beyond that, yeah, this match is going to be one of those where it's just kind of a filler match. But let me just say one thing before this whole segment even started. What's up with the men interrupting the women's segments now?
Oh my god, that drives me nuts.
Women's evolution, Brandon, get with it.
No, it's stupid, and I think it plays into something that'll come up when we do the mixed match challenge crap stuff. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, they're gonna have mixed tag team titles, aren't they?
Probably.
No, it has to do with this stupid crush thing that Charlotte has going on with Bobby, and so Randy interrupted to piss off Bobby. It's so stupid, but anyway.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It was all because of the whole thing with Charlotte and Bobby.
Yeah.
Liz, are you? I know you're tired of the multi-man matches here, but we've been kind of seeing the writing on the wall for this one for a while now. Are you okay with this as your WrestleMania US title match?
You know what it is? I like all three guys individually. I mean, Orton has been around forever. I can give or take him. I've always been a fan of Genders and Rudes. I just don't think the three of them have the chemistry or the charisma to pull it off. In their own ways, each three tends to be a little on the duller side at times, unfortunately. So having the three of them together, there's no spark. I don't know. There's no one-on-one. Whichever of the three it is, one-on-one. Yes, but the three of them together, it's just there's no spark. There's no real chemistry to it. So I mean, yeah, right. We're gonna get a whole bunch of multi-man matches. Whatever. I'm resigned to that fact. But this one is just gonna be there.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this match needs 100% more Rusev. I mean, if we're going to have a multi-man match, can we at least add the one that's over to this contest?
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. Anywho, post-match, Randy Orton lays out Jinder Mahal with an RKO. Contrary to what Corey Graves will try to tell you, it was not out of nowhere. You could clearly see Randy coming.
Was it just me, or did it look like either Jinder didn't take it properly, or Orton didn't do it really well and looked more like a stunner than a cutter?
I can't honestly say I paid enough attention to be able to answer that question.
Yeah, I'm constantly distracted by the fact that Randy is always chewing gum, so I didn't pay close enough attention to it.
I got distracted by the fact that Randy Orton sat at ringside and didn't have a headset. Come on, man, it was right there. Anyway.
I almost choked on my water.
Our next contest, scheduled for one fall, is a women's division match as Carmella defeats Naomi at 2 minutes and 50 seconds, knocking Naomi into the ropes and then rolling her up with a cradle for the pinfall. Sorry, I fell asleep watching this match.
I mean, I like Naomi. I wish she would have gotten the win, but I know they're at least attempting to push Carmella a little bit more to remind all of us that, yes, she still has the Money in the Bank briefcase, and she's going to have to cash it in at some point.
Well, that is not the news I wanted to see right now while we were recording this.
I saw the same thing. Oh my goodness.
What would that be?
Stephen Hawking passed away.
Oh, damn.
Yes.
I'll never be able to watch the remote control Stephen Hawking episode of The Big Bang Theory the same way.
Mm.
Anywho, sorry, downer moment. Let's get back to the show. Liz, your thoughts on Naomi and Carmella?
It was, it was okay. I mean, it was Carmella and Naomi again. I know I always sound harsh, about the women, but to me, it's just that so many of their matches are the same thing over and over, right? And they're just so dull. And they tend to, for the most part, be the shorter of the matches. But it was all right. I mean, it was there. I was happy to see Carmella get the win for a change. And that's it.
Before we go any further with this review, HEBTheEagle@yahoo.com. Earmuffs, kids, because this part of the show isn't for you. Carmella is now referring to herself as the modern-day Moolah. They have officially announced that the WWE women's version of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal will be named after the fabulous Moolah. Hey, Liz, remember the message I sent you while we were watching this?
Yes, but before you start, let me just say one thing. I don't think Carmella has a choice but to bill herself as that. I mean, they probably
this is nothing against Carmella. This isn't against Carmella.
Okay, go ahead. Proceed.
Get fucked. Are you kidding me? Like, Andre, I get. Andre is a legitimate legend, and very few people who ever met him had a bad word to say about him. Big John stud, but that's because Andre didn't like big guys. That is what it is. It was Andre protecting his spot. Andre didn't pimp out his fellow wrestlers to the boys. Andre didn't drug the people that were living with him. Andre didn't refuse to help you get booked unless you followed her rules. Fabulous Moolah is a piece of human shit. And I will say the same thing now that I...
What the hell?
Is named after Moolah. That will be my piss break match because I will not watch and endorse anything with that bitch's name attached to it. HEBTheEagle@yahoo.com. Feel free to send the hate mail. I don't care.
You got so mad there that your thing started cutting out.
I probably just got too loud for the voice control to handle.
You know, there's certainly a big backlash going on about it, and a lot of people, even in our staff, air quote staff, chat, a lot of discussion back and forth about it. I mean, it's pretty detailed. It's pretty, out there that she was a horrible, horrible human being. But this is what the WWE does. I mean, a lot of people have made the point that even the Warrior Award, he was an asshole, but even the Warrior Award isn't what he wanted it, to be. They made it all about, the crap it is now, finding somebody deserving people. And I am not knocking the people who get the award. They are, lovely people, but it's not what the award was supposed to be. They turned it into something else. But this is what they do. They don't care.
I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't want an award named after a bigoted homophobe either.
No, I mean, of course not. But this, all people, even, people who haven't watched in years since the 80s, whatever, people, around my age, they're going to know the name of the Fabulous Moolah. They're going to know the name of the Ultimate Warrior. So, they might Google it or whatever, look it up, and it might bring them back in for a little bit. But this is what they do. They still, in a lot of ways, they pretend that the fans don't know anything anymore. But it's out there, and they should really, consider these things before, they make these awful decisions.
Yeah, but, I mean, like Liz said, they don't care about what the fans that are in the know think. They're going after, popping a cheap rating by using, a bigger name from their past to, maybe draw in some older fans who have faded off. So that's all this is. I mean, other than Mae Young, who they used already for the Mae Young Classic, so I don't think they wanted to use...
Martel.
What?
Sherry Martel.
But that's what I'm saying.
Miss Elizabeth
wasn't a wrestler. Plus, Miss Elizabeth, I mean, Moolah was a horrible, horrible woman. Let's just get that out there. We'll pretend we all agree. I agree on it. I don't know where Brandon stands on it. No offense. But she was a horrible woman. But she didn't and she's gone now. Not that makes any of it better, because a lot of her victims, are not. But Miss Elizabeth wasn't a wrestler. Miss Elizabeth was a valet, so it's not going to have the same effect. If they were having like a tournament for like to be the next valet or the next ring announcer, absolutely name it the Miss Elizabeth, whatever. Moolah was a wrestler. Moolah is a name that a lot of people, know. People don't know Sherry Martel. It doesn't have the same effect.
I disagree. I think plenty of people know who Sherry Martel is. Okay,
not
you could
to the
go
same level as.
Okay, if you want to do somebody more modern that people would know, then call it the Joni Lauer Memorial Battle Royal.
That's my point. That's what I was trying to say. Moolah was an old woman when she died. She has these hidden skeletons in her closet, and for the most part, they're hidden. Elizabeth overdosed. Joni overdosed. They're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Moolah to them is still an old woman who was active in the business until her, advanced age, just like, Mae Young. They want to think that, nobody knows about this stuff going on. Oh, it's all bullshit. They're not going to use anybody that had a history of drug problems or, died in questionable ways.
Technical difficulties. I'm having technical difficulties, not Liz.
Oh, is Liz still there?
I'm here.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I had some technical issues. I think it came through clear, but I had some technical issues, so I didn't hear the tail end of what she said there. But I got the gist of what she was saying based around her comment about Sherry and China and Elizabeth.
The issue that I see with all of these names you throw out, like Liz said, the drug problems with someone like China and whatnot, you're not, with the exception of a few more recent people, you're not really going to find someone that has a clean out of the ring bill and also has the name recognition of a Moolah or of, Mae Young or someone like that. The only people that I can think of that you could use that would be known by, non-big wrestling fans would be some of the Attitude Era type people like Trish and Lita. If you wanted to use them, you could. But, again, that also opens up Pandora's box for some of the other things on screen that they did back in that time. So, there really is no perfect woman for them to use as the name for this Battle Royal.
I will agree with that to an extent. That being said, there is nothing anyone will ever say that will convince me that this should be named after that pimp.
Oh, I agree.
We're not trying to convince you. We're just trying to give the other side of the argument of another reason why they chose that name. Because the casual person from the 80s is going to know that name more than they're going to know even China. Or that they say if it was called the China, whatever the heck it's called, like, they named it after a drug addict. And please, it would never, with the whole Hunter and Stephanie crap, it would never be called the Jonah Lola anything. So it doesn't matter. Nobody's trying to convince you otherwise. I agree with you. It shouldn't be called that. She was, garbage. But Brandon's right. There is no perfect woman. There is no perfect person within the WWE, WCW, whatever else they own world to name it after.
Actually, I just thought of one person that I'd honestly be okay with, and I think she would have enough of a name recognition that it could work. I think the best option is either, you can call it by, they'd probably call it by her WWE name, so the Medusa, or no, not Medusa,
the Alundra Blaze Invitational?
Yes, the Alundra Blaze Battle Royal.
You know what? I would be perfectly okay with that. Call it the Alundra Blaze Invitational. Encourage people to go to the network and check out Alundra's stuff.
and then as a funny little side joke that they could make fun of themselves with it, like have, Nia won't be in it because, she's, in the title match. but have whoever win it, like, on the next night on Raw or SmackDown, whatever show they're on, like, have it there and be like, this is what I think of this trophy, and then, like, put it in a trash can.
You're going too inside baseball for the casual fan here, Brandon. We're moving on. Mostly because we've already been doing this now for a half an hour, and we still got another show to do before we get a third show in tonight. So let's get to this here, shall we? All right. Our closing segment is Shane McMahon's announcement. Shane comes out and says that it's no secret that he's had issues with Sami and Kevin ever going back to when Kevin attacked his father, and Sami ever since he got involved in their Hell in a Cell match. He says that he may not have always done what's right, but he spoke with Daniel Bryan, who will return next week. Starting next week, Shane is taking a leave of absence as the commissioner of SmackDown, and Daniel Bryan will be going it along. However, his final decision to make, based on what we heard them say earlier tonight, will be to make a singles match at WrestleMania where Kevin Owens will face Sami Zayn. Owens and then Zayn both interrupt Shane McMahon's announcement here. Both of them agree that it is the best decision that Shane has made. And then apparently bygones are bygones as they lay in a beat down on Shane McMahon, which leads to both a haluva kick and a pop-up powerbomb. The Asian referee gets his ass kicked as well. Sorry, John Cho. I know your name. It just made more sense. And then a chair gets wrapped around Shane's head and then gets run into the ring post. They pull him up the ramp and backstage where a power bomb onto a scaffolding. I assume that was a scaffolding. I'm not entirely sure. It looked like it might have been chairs.
I'm not sure what it was either. I couldn't really tell.
Either way, he gets power bombed on something backstage, and the EMTs check on Shane as the show goes off the air. Liz, you were really, really reluctant about this whole segment here. What did you think about what we got here?
I was surprised they went the route of, Shane taking a leave of absence, so automatically the cynic in you thinks, oh, well, this is going to lead to something else. I hated the crap on the pay-per-view with him getting, pulling them out of the match. I think I'm over the McMahons as characters on TV because it's the same crap with them every time. So it's gotten old, it's gotten stale, it's gotten annoying for me. I respect anybody else's opinion. Stephanie and Shane as non-characters on TV, utmost respect for them. I'm sure they're very nice people. I don't really believe that Stephanie's that big of a bitch in real life. So I was surprised that they went the, leave of absence route. You wonder what's, going to come of it. And then I enjoyed seeing him getting beat down. I couldn't figure out why the heck they were, beating up the ref. So, it's probably going to lead them to them being suspended and Shane either not taking a leave of absence or Shane, of course, having a match with them at Mania, which I suspect will be announced as being unsanctioned.
Brandon, I'm hearing rumors of a tag match where Shane picks a partner to take on Sami and Kevin. Your thoughts?
I'd be okay with it. I don't know who he would pick, though. There are certainly a few ideas, but, we'll see where that goes. I'd be okay with just about whatever they do with this, especially considering the rumors that we heard last week about the potential Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn plans. This is a much better route than what they were originally, what it seemed like they were going to originally.
Yeah, the rumor of Shane and Kevin and Sami inside of the Andre Battle Royal had a lot of people worried here. I think even if it isn't a tag match with Shane as their opponent and Shane having a mystery partner, it does more for the Sami and Kevin experience coming out of WrestleMania than having just being thrown in as fodder into the Andre Battle Royal would do for either of them.
Yeah, definitely. And with what you just said right there, I really hope they do go this route. But I kind of doubt they will, but if you really, especially if it's going to be someone big, like if it's going to be a Daniel Bryan or it's going to be, thought I heard someone else mention Lashley. If it's going to be someone big, don't have Shane reveal it on SmackDown. Have him talk about it. Have him talk about the fact that he's searching for a partner and all of this. But leave the reveal for WrestleMania as a big surprise like we got with the Hardys last year.
I know who it's going to be. Who I think it should be.
Who do you think?
Jericho.
That would be nice. That would be an interesting pick as well. Yeah.
Jericho has tour dates on the opposite side of the country that day.
Yeah.
Sure he does. Right. Because that's never been a lie or changed before, but whatever.
All right, Jericho's a known worker. I'm not going to deny that. And given his history with Kevin and Sami, that actually would make some sense.
But no matter who it is, especially if it's someone that is, a big surprise, like a Jericho, like Daniel Bryan, any of the names that we just mentioned, save it for WrestleMania as that
Agreed.
big surprise pop that you're going to get. Like you got with the Hardys last year.
Mm-hmm.
I stand by what I said, though. It beats the brakes off of them being in the Andre.
Oh, definitely.
With all due
absolutely.
respect to the Andre.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to wrap us up for this episode of SmackDown. Let's go ahead and get into our final ratings here. Liz, where do you fall? Scale of 1 to 10.
6.5.
Brandon?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 6.5 as well.
I'm going to fall somewhere around that range. I think I'm a little bit higher than you guys are because this show flowed a lot better than Raw did to me, so I'm going to give it a 7. Just because I was so disappointed by how underwhelming Raw was last night. Or Monday night, depending on whenever you're listening to this. And I gave Monday night's episode of Raw a 5, and I thought this was significantly better top to bottom than that was.
Yeah, definitely.
One-word review, Liz.
One-word review. It was entertaining, so I'll use entertaining.
Brandon?
I'll use build. This is the start of the build to WrestleMania.
I'm going to go with hype. Much the same way Brandon was referring to there. We finally started to get some of the hype towards what will be the big matches on the Blue Brand, and we continued the hype for some of the ones that we kind of already knew were coming. The tag title triple threat, the U.S. title triple threat, Styles and Shinsuke. And they started the hype train for Charlotte and Asuka tonight as well. If you are interested in anything in relation to the worlds of wrestling, video games, sports, entertainment, and much, much more, you can check out W2Mnet.com. In addition, you can listen to the W2M Network podcast presentations on anywhere you listen to podcasts, Stitcher, iTunes, iHeartRadio, YouTube. You can find us on YouTube. Brandon and I will be starting How the World Was Won soon. We also have the kickoff Wednesday nights during the NFL season and college football seasons. We will have our special draft preview episode either April 18th or the 25th. We're not sure which, but one of those two Wednesdays will be our draft preview, and then we'll return after the draft with a draft recap as well. Brandon, you and Jason Teasley have something planned in addition to doing the kickoff together. Might as well tell everybody that real quick too.
Yep, we'll be doing fantasy football to the max, and that we'll do a draft review, talking about the top players and the top fantasy prospects for next season after the draft.
Liz, do you have anything you want to plug?
Do I ever?
We need to get you another show.
We'll plug your snack box addiction.
Well, they're not for me. I send them to people.
And they're freaking delicious.
I send them to people.
Although it does end up leading to me spending more money on snack foods than I probably should.
Well, you never know. If you behave, you might get another one.
I'm not going to say no to a snack box. I'm just saying.
You never know who might get one in the mail.
So for my co-hostess with the mostest, Miss Liz Pugliese, and the thorn in my side, Brandon Biskobing, I'm Harry Broadhurst, thanking you for listening to the Wrestling to the Max SmackDown Live review for March 13th, 2018. We'll see you soon for 205 and Mixed Match Challenge.